What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gents. Today's little video, man, as you can tell by the title, we'll be swapping out these here dusty ass brake pads on this here red eye. So I got the brake pads right here, and I'm just gonna turn you guys around so you guys can follow along and see where we're starting at. Oh, don't mind my VP jugs, ain't nothing in them. Good times though. So here's the rears. I already did the right side just because I wanted to make sure we didn't run into any hiccups or anything like that. So don't mind my dirty ass hands, that's where it comes from. Just wanted to make sure I wasn't looking like an idiot trying to make this here how-to video real quick and then run into a problem. I'm just looking like a complete fool. So here's the rear. Part number is going to be Z26 1053 right there. And here's the front. Part number is going to be Z26 1405 Street Warrior Extreme Carbon Fiber Brake Pads. There you go. And like I said, I already did the other side, so it should be smooth sailing about it. And here's the hardware right here. I will not be using the hardware just because the OEM stuff works just fine, so I'll just keep using that. And one person that I saw, he didn't make a how-to video, he just said what he did, and he was saying how he ran into one of the front pins somehow getting in there and binding. I guess it was too big, but I ran this one in earlier to punch out the OEM stuff, and it seemed to go in just fine. Got a little red up there, you know, from the inside of the holes that I needed to punch out, but other than that, they seem to run in just fine. I don't know, maybe with the older pads or the older hardware it was slightly larger, but these front ones, or where'd it go? This front one seemed to run in just fine. But let's get into it. Enough rambling on. We're gonna start in the back and then work to the front. And step one, obviously, it's gonna be remove the tires. So let's grab our pads and let's hop on back here. Tires already off. There's no special tools you need. Only thing I will be using is one of the supplied, I guess, pins. One of the supplied pins as a punch. If you actually have a punch, I suggest you use that. But I don't have any punches, so I'll be using the pins that they supplied and just punching out the OEM pins located here and here. These are the only two dudes you need to worry about. Like I said, no special tools, wrenches, sockets, anything. Just this little dude, punch those out. Boom, boom. So let's go ahead and do that right now. And you just want to be as careful as possible to make sure you don't ding and dent your calipers. Just take your time. First one in. Alright. Now this part is a little tricky. Earlier I just used the back of the hammer, just hooked it in there and was able to like wiggle it out. But on the other side, the bottom one was a little looser, so I was able to work that one out by hand. Doesn't look like I'm gonna be able to do it this time, so don't be afraid to use one of these guys. Now if you're worried about your finish, you might want to go another route, but it's on the back side, it's not too visible. Just take your time. You shouldn't mess anything up too bad. There you go. First pin out, like I said, just use the back of that hammer and releases all the tension on the second pin. The second pin falls out. Now just pay attention to which way your bracket faces. There's this little X right here. I'm not sure what it means. Maybe you guys can see that little X right there. So that X was facing on the inside, and we're just gonna try to make sure it faces back that way. Put our two pins down and grab our rotors, or grab our pads. Boom. Now when I did the other side, I noticed that the wear indicator, I'll show you guys, I'll actually pop this one out. So the wear indicator for the OEM ones is at the top, and as you can see at the top here on the OEM pad, and on the Z26 is down at the bottom. So that threw me for a loop. I thought I had it backwards or something, but no, the wear indicator just moved to the bottom. That's all it is. So don't worry too much about that. Still gonna do his job. Let's go ahead and slide this guy back in. There you go. But this one is way looser than the other side. The other side was it's a little tighter, a little hard to get the pads out. This side is definitely a lot easier to work with. Like I said, pay attention to which way you grabbed them. And slide it in. Z26. Slide her on in. Alright. Take your bracket. Place your bracket back where it's supposed to go. And grab your pins and place those where they're supposed to go. And we can bang her on through. So move up to this top one. Repeat the process. There you go. And there you have it. Rear Z26 brake pad installed. Now, if this was the front, I would give it a little spinny spin to make sure we don't got any crazy binding or anything. But it's not the front, so just go ahead and throw the tire back on. Lower it down and move to the front. So moving on to the front, with the addition of one extra step, it's pretty much the same as the back. 2 pins, and the additional step is going to be 1/2-inch socket for this little dude right here. This guy right here. So you just go ahead, make sure he's out of there, and then punch your pins out. That is it. And then same thing as the back, slide your pads out. So just go ahead, jump right into it. And to make sure you don't lose anything, just put this little guy right here. Make sure he doesn't end up rolling anywhere and you lose him. So just put him back in there. And now we punch our pins out. So I use the broadside just because it gives me more contact. And once it gets in there, switch over to the low side, or the little side. Same thing for the bottom one. Once you get one out, the second one is just that much easier. Now for the front ones, just like the other side was a little stiffer to get out. So all I'll do is take me a flathead, take it in there, be careful, just turn it like that, and it slides right on out, man. Show you guys where I put it. All I did was take it, stick it between here, and just turn, and it just pops right out. So just, and then from there, you just work it on out. Do a little jiggle jiggle. There you go. Make sure you pay attention to the direction. Make sure the other one's facing the same way, before you end up on one of those mechanic pages. Customer states there's a weird vibration when he brakes. There you go. Now before I throw this one in, I just wanted to, so you guys can see that the fronts, the wear indicators are the same direction. See here on the OEM and here on the Z26. So they are the same direction on the fronts, just a little easier so you pay attention to, make sure you put them in the right way. And the front slides right on in. There we go. Now with this one, you might want to just make sure you pay attention, because obviously this little hump has to fit this up underneath it. So make sure you put that guy back where it's supposed to go. So I'm actually going to slide him in first. Before we throw it back in, just make sure you get yourself a little bit of that Loctite. I got red. Now I think the color makes a difference on how, I guess, tight it is. So I don't know how tight red is, but that's all I got. So that's what I'm rolling with. And from there, we're just gonna throw our pins back in. So there you have it, tube view. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward installation. Hopefully it's gonna cut down on the brake dust, because I'm really tired of cleaning these wheels every time I just look at the brake pedal. Like, it's pretty insane. So hopefully this does the job. And now only thing we have to worry about is doing the break-in process. The instructions are right there on the box, so you guys can just follow along with the instructions. I don't plan on recording that. I just wanted to show you guys just how easy and how simple this is if you're thinking about doing the Z26 conversion or whatever, or you're just simply sick and tired of dealing with the brake dust. So there you have it, 1/2-inch socket. Use one of these guys as a punch if you don't have a punch, or if you have a punch, use a punch, and a freaking hammer, and possibly one of these guys if your pads don't slide out as easily as they should. And that is it. That is all, tube view. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, man. Hope you guys found it helpful. And if you did, hit that subscribe button, hit that like, swing over to the Instagram channel, Load376 Slow, everything the same exact thing as the YouTube channel. I'll put the links for the pads down in the description, so you guys can go down there, click the link, follow the link, get yourself a set. Pretty cheap, pretty easy. Hopefully it's just gonna do its job and, you know, actually cut down on the brake dust, because I'm really tired of cleaning this brake dust. But other than that, that is it. I'm out. You guys have a good one. Peace.